Hi, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to talk about my most anticipated September new releases. So as always with these videos, I'm not actually interested to read all of them. I just picked some books that I think you might be interested in. This time, I have 3 different categories. The first category is the same as always. All of these books are romances, by the way, but the first category is the biggest one, and it's either standalones, new books in series, or sequels where they are like interconnected standalones, like a sequel following a different couple, so not a direct sequel. The second category is going to be Christmas romances because it has already started. I have 3 to talk about, and then the last category is going to be direct sequels, and with that one, I'm not going to give you the synopsis because I figure if you're interested in a sequel, you've already read the first book and already know what it's about. Plus, I haven't read the first book, so I really don't want to get spoiled. So I'm just going to tell you the title, the author, and the publication date. So starting with the first category, the first book is the one that I am the most excited about, and it's Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver, and this one comes out on September 3rd. So this is the second book in the Rose Hill series, the first book being Wild Love. So in the first book, the hero of that book set up this recording studio, and this book you follow a famous country singer who's coming to Rose Hill for some peace because she's had a recent streak of bad press. And there she meets this little boy and girl and falls in love with them, plus their father, Weston Belmont. And he's actually Rosie's brother from the first book. So usually I'm not really a big fan of a couple where one is a big celebrity and the other is a regular person. I don't know what it is about it. It's just not my favorite. But obviously I love Elsie Silver, and obviously I'm gonna read this book, so hopefully I'll love it. The next book also comes out on September 3rd, and it's No One Does It Like You by Katie Shepherd. So this also follows a celebrity, but this time it's a Broadway actor. And he's in the news again because he saved one of his co-stars, but he really wants to get his ex back. And she has this B&B that is owned by her family, and there's some storm damage. So she calls her ex to ask him if he wants to help her, and then he does, along with, I believe, the cast of his show, of his play, and then obviously they're gonna fall in love again. I do really like this cover. It's very cute. The next one also comes out on September 3rd, and it is a romance fantasy. I love this cover so very much. So this is about a girl who wants to uncover and reassemble an ancient and cursed vase. So she finds this journal of a boy who went missing in 1932. So when her school takes her to Pompeii, she finds a statue that looks exactly like the boy that went missing, and then that statue comes to life, and she finds that he's really nothing like what he was like in the journal. And I believe they set out to find this treasure, and then obviously they're gonna fall in love. Like I said, I really, really love this cover. And this kind of reminds me a little bit of Divine Rivals. Does feel like it's a mix of a couple different genres, just like Divine Rivals was, so hopefully it's just as good. Fall for Him by Andy Burke also comes out on September 3rd. Okay, so this sounds very, very cute. This is about Dylan and Derek, and they are neighbors. So Dylan lives above Derek, and then one day his apartment floods, and it creates a flood that results in him falling through the floor on top of Derek's bed. And since they both don't want to tell the HOA that happened, Dylan decides to renovate it himself. But obviously that means that he has to sleep on Derek's couch. It sounds very cute. They are opposites attract. One looks like the typical jock, and the other one is obviously looks like a nerd. So actually you can see it on the cover here. Like I said, it sounds very, very cute. I am kind of overexposed. Let me turn the white balance down a little. So yeah, it sounds very cute. It's obviously a male-male romance, and I'm very excited about it. On September 10th, The Royals Upstairs by Karina Halley comes out. And I don't know if this is connected to her other royal series, like the Nordic King, stuff like that. But this also follows the royals in Norway, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But this time the romance is between the royal bodyguard and the royal nanny. Not only that, but they used to date each other. So it sounds cute. Second chance romance, bodyguard romance in a way. Technically, he's not her bodyguard, but still. I have not read a Karina Halley yet, so hopefully I'll love this one. Next is a book that is very interesting. Casket Case by Lauren Evans. It also comes out on September 10th, and this is one of those contemporary slash paranormal books that I tend to love, especially during the fall season. So this takes place in a town called Rabbit Town, Alabama. It's a tiny town where everybody really knows each other. And we follow this single woman in her 30s called Nora, and she sells caskets. And one day this man shows up and he's interested in her. He asks her out on a date. But then some people in town start dying, and anytime that happens, he's around. She later finds out that he's working for death. So that sounds interesting. Like, this kind of reminds me of the Ex-Hex, books like that. Also Charmed, those kinds of shows. So hopefully this will be just as good. Next is the second book to My Roommate is a Vampire, and this one is called My Vampire Plus One by Jenna Levine. And this one comes out on September 17th. So this is basically a fake dating romance, but with a vampire. She's tired of her family being up her case for still being single, so she asks Reginald Cleves to be her plus one. And I don't know if she knows he's a vampire, but I'm sure she's gonna find out. So I heard like mixed things about the first book, so we'll see what the reviews are gonna be for this one. A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft comes out on September 17th. So first of all, this cover is beautiful, like gorgeous. And this is, I don't know if it's technically a romance. I believe it's more like fantasy mystery with a dash of romance, but it is a female-female romance. I'm just gonna read you the first sentence. A sharp-tongued folklorist must pair up with her academic rival to solve their mentor's murder in this lush and enthralling sapphic fantasy romance. Lorelei's mentor is murdered in her quarters aboard the ships, and the suspects are her 5 remaining expedition mates, and each with their own motive, and the only one that she knows is innocent is her longtime rival. And together, they need to solve this murder. And there's dangers amok. And yeah, it sounds gorgeous. And it's also like a gothic, as you can see by the cover, like a gothic book. So very excited about this one. Next is another book that I'm gonna make an effort to try and read. And it's The Wraith King by Juliet Cross. This one comes out on September 24th. And this is, like, if I gave out awards for the most beautiful covers, I think this one would get it because it's beautiful. Basically, I'm gonna also once again read you the first sentence because it does sum it up pretty well. So, a brutal, bloody war against the ruthless Wraith King has cost the Light Fae more than innocent lives. Una Hearthstone, Princess of Issos, learns the price the Wraith King demands to end the war once and for all: her. In exchange for the safety of her people, she agrees to give her life and her body to her greatest enemy. And he is determined to fulfill his destiny and his god's prophecy. But when she finally yields to him, he realizes she's more to him than a priceless weapon. So there's traitors also in the story. There's at least one traitor who demands to take his throne. And like, it's a fantasy romance written by Juliet Cross, and I have loved the Stay Spell series by her, so I'm very excited about this one. Next is Fucking Sweet by Emily Rath, and this one also comes out on September 24th. And this is the third book in the Jacksonville Race series, and this is an MMF between Poppy, a director of public relations, and it's her romance with Lucas and Colton. Both of them are players for the Jacksonville Race. So the first book in the series is Pucking Around, which I have read. I'm not sure if I want to continue on with the series, but I do tend to like MMF. Although I'm not sure if this is actually MMF or MFM. I don't know, we'll see. I guess I'll just wait for the reviews for this one. The Lovers by Rebecca Fabian also comes out on September 24th, and this is a debut romance, and it involves tarot cards, as you can see by the cover. So you follow Kit Larson, who's a tarot card reader and an influencer, or like a mystic influencer, I guess. And she's invited to do a gig at another influencer's wedding, but the wedding planner is her high school crush, Julia. Now they reconnect at this wedding, so this is another female-female romance. Adam and Evie's Matchmaking Tour by Nora Nguyen comes out on September 24th as well. Okay, so this sounds interesting. I just realized that they are called Adam and Evie, but anyway, moving on. So basically, Evie's life is in shambles, but then she inherits the deed to her aunt's San Francisco row house. The catch, however, is that she needs to go on this prearranged matchmaking tour in Vietnam, which is where her family's from. So obviously she agrees. And then on the other side, Adam is working for his sister's company who does said matchmaking tours. So he knows nothing about love. So his sister challenges him to go on this tour, and there they meet. But he thinks she's chaotic and unpredictable, and she thinks he's grumpy and uptight. And then they get to know each other while traveling Vietnam. It sounds very good. And I always like it when characters... So obviously for those of you who don't know, I'm from Iraq. I've lived in the Netherlands my whole life. So I kind of like those stories where... So I haven't been to Iraq. So I kind of like those stories where characters go back to like their native lands, or where their family was born, or where their family is from. I don't know. Even though obviously I'm not from Vietnam, I do tend to connect to those stories in a way. So I'm very excited about this one. Next is Twisted Night by Kay Bromberg, which also comes out on September 24th. A lot of books come out on September 24th because all the Christmas romance or holiday romances also come out on September 24th. So this book doesn't really have a big synopsis. Basically, he's set out for revenge, but she's also set out for revenge. So it's like a revenge story, but obviously they're going to fall in love. That is really all the synopsis is giving me. So, but it does say Kings of Sin meets It Ends With Us. So I don't know. I wouldn't really connect those two, but we'll see. Another book that comes out on September 24th is The Slowest Burn by Sarah Chamberlain. So this is a romance between a famous chef who is on the verge of opening his own restaurant, and also got a high-paying cookbook deal, but he's not really getting along with his ghostwriter. And she is also, alongside being a ghostwriter, she's working on her own cookbook, but then obviously they fall in love. I always like books about chefs, cooking, or food, or baking, or anything related to that. So hopefully I'll love this one. And then the last one in this section is The Wingman by Stephanie Archer, which is the third book in the Vancouver Storm series, the first and second being Behind the Net and The Fake Out, which they've been very, very popular. And this one comes out on September 26th. And this is another hockey romance. So they've been best friends, but she, wants a boyfriend. So he offers to help her get that, but they need to practice on, she needs to practice on him first. It says here, we're roommates, but sleeping in the same bed. He buys me a toy as a favor, but helps me use it. All the relationship stuff he's always avoided, he doesn't seem to mind anymore. So this sounds cute. I always like the teach me books, so hopefully this one will have some good teach me moments. Moving on to the holiday romances. So there's three, like I said, that I want to talk about, and all of them come out on September 24th. The first book being The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. So this sounds like a perfect mix between a romance and a mystery. So basically, she's a cozy mystery author and he's a big-time thriller author, and they both get invited to the most famous mystery writer in the world for a Christmas party, but then she disappears from a locked room, and now they have to figure out the mystery, and they might be in danger themselves, and they're obviously gonna fall in love. This sounds cute. It sounds like everything I want to read this time of year. All I Want Is You by Fallon Ballard. So they used to be exes, now they're both romance authors, except his is not really a romance because they don't have happy endings. Now they both have to go to this remote inn a few days before Christmas with only one bed, of course. And they also get trapped during the snowstorm. So all the well-beloved tropes. And the last Christmas romance is the third book in the Christmas Notch series by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone, and it's a Jingle Bell Mingle. So this actually sounds a lot like other books in this series. So this follows a adult movie star and a boy band, like an ex-boy band member, and they're gonna fall in love in this like small town in Vermont. And I believe they had a one-night stand after their friend's wedding, because I think they are friends with couples from previous books. Now for the sequels, direct sequels, like I said, I'm just gonna tell you the title, the author, and the publication date. The first book is Dawn of Gods and Fury by K.A. Tucker, which is the fourth book in the Fate and Flame series by her, and this one comes out on September 3rd. Next is Somewhere Beyond the Sea, which is the sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, which comes out on September 10th, which obviously I'm very much looking forward to that. Hopefully I can reread the first book again this month. Maybe I'm gonna do that. Hopefully that will once again help me get me out of my reading slump. Next is Broken by Daylight, which is the 4th book in the Beasts of Briar series by Elizabeth Helen, which comes out on September 10th. And last but most certainly not least is The Vilest Thing by Chloe Gong, which is the 2nd book in the Flesh and False Gods series, which also comes out on September 10th. So yes, I think the 3 books I am most looking forward to are Wild Eyes, The Wraith King, and Somewhere Beyond the Sea. Definitely let me know in the comments below which one of these books you're most looking forward to, or if you're looking forward to a book that I haven't mentioned yet, leave that in the comments below. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know by leaving a like if you did. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.